Hello everyone and welcome back to WCS Season 2 Korean Round of 8. We are casting a best of 5 series between the blue Terran in the top left, Supernova, and the red Protoss in the bottom left, Rain. Now I have to apologise for the earlier cast in this series. I had just knocked off work and was exceptionally tired, so my apologies if that carried through on the cast. But I have gotten home, had a delicious roast lamb dinner and ready to go casting the rest of this series. So we have in fact got a tied series at the moment. It is 1-1, Supernova taking the first game and Rain managing to pull it back in the second. So this series will go to a best of 5. And the map we're on is Whirlwind. So an interesting map, easy to get long macro games, particularly when you're spawning on opposite sides of the map. However, we have got a top and bottom spawn here, so relatively short distances between these players, or shorter than usual on this map, and we'll see if that comes into effect, or if these players elect to go for a longer macro game. Fairly standard starts gateway opener out of Rain, and nothing yet out of Supernova other than his first supply depot. Natural's quite easy to secure on this map. Third base a bit more of a challenge, particularly for Rain. Is quite easy to drop in various locations on this map. For example, if Rain's left with the decision of expanding towards his opponent here and taking his third base in the mid game, in the 10 to 12 minute mark when Terran are strongest, and taking that towards his opponent's quite difficult. If he takes his third over here, he's quite susceptible to drops and elevator play across these gaps. So a bit of a tricky map for Protoss, tricky spawn locations anyway. And we'll see how Rain decides to deal with that. From Supernova we have first and second barracks on the way, command centre going down on the low ground, one geyser so far from Rain, and it looks like a fairly standard opener. We've seen it from the last couple of rounds. Likes to get a quick mothership core up, and then he generally uses that and some sentries to hold the low ground. So we'll see if he does anything different. Last round we did see him use Dark Template, a great effect. If you haven't seen that game yet, you should go back and check it out. It was quite a good game. Both games actually very exceptional for different reasons. Game 1 showcased just how great a player Supernova can be, going for a clever all-in after he'd suffered quite a heavy blow and managed to pull the game back into his favour, proving just how cost-efficient medevacs and Terran units can be. So excellent game for him. Game number 2 was quite interesting, with Rain using some Dark Templar harass to get a bit of an edge and carrying it through with some consistent play, some well-timed storms and some masterful immortals that seem to have butchered 2/3 of the Terran army on their own. Have a third macro CC going down. You'll notice he killed the drone scout before dropping that, so very greedy out of Supernova. Moving down some Marines, make sure that Rain can't get a scout off on this anytime soon. I see another robo going down out of Rain, obviously buoyed by the success he had with that last round. See a stalker down here patrolling, making sure nothing slips into the base unwanted. Just wondering for our viewers out there, what's your favourite part of the PvT matchup? Are you Terran players and you love the mid game? Are you Protoss players and you struggle against that mid game aggression, but just get giddy with excitement when you're dropping storms and Colossus all over the Bible? Love to hear from you down below. Throw us a comment. Love to see what you love or hate about this matchup, TVP or PvT. Got a forge on the way for some upgrades. One of the things I'm noticing out of Rain is he tends to favour this quite quick expansion, very slow to throw down extra gateways, generally working off 1 or 2 gateways for quite a good period of time, instead choosing to be fairly active with those. Got Supernova holding the watchtower in the middle of the map, so he'll have a bit of an idea if if Rain moves out or tries any shenanigans in the midfield. Got our third barracks on the way, and in the tech lab we're researching Stimpack. So that's gonna be quite handy for these Terran. Production tab shows an observer on the way from Rain and the +1 armour compared to the +1 weapons of the Terran. Bunker's down and the front's fairly secure. We have this observer moving out. He will spot everything that's going on. The macro CC though has moved out quite early to the third, so this may well catch Rain by surprise. If he's not active in scouting this, he could well get quite a shock. So, but too good for that. Rain does in fact rally that observer up to the third base, and he will spot that. Yes indeed, the observer manages to see that just before it lands. We have a bit of a fight going between a stalker and a marine. Very one-sided, laser beam to the face, and the marine goes down horribly. So obviously Rain, scouting at that time, was expecting to see a third command centre, and when he didn't see it, went looking for it and managed to pick up that Supernova had indeed expanded. Third base coming down from Rain. He did choose to take it down in this location. Has a number of observers out on the map, 3 at present, which is going to be excellent for getting vision of when this Terran force moves out. We do have no observers over here, so might see a sneaky drop come in behind this natural, while some pressures on the third base possibly. Who knows? May or may not come into play. A bunker coming down to secure this third, and we have a missile turret here. Curious about maybe Supernova's being cautious against the DTs that we saw last game. It's that, or he wants to pick off these observers that he knows is. It's important to note that these players have been watching each other. They often catch each other's games as they progress through the round, so he's probably very familiar with the fact that Rain does like to go robo, and often will plant an observer somewhere here to see when the Terran moves out. So possibly trying to pick that up, or scout for any Dark Templars that might be coming as missile turrets detect. Have extended thermal lance on the way with Colossus number 1. No, Colossus number 2 coming. No chrono boost yet. Third Colossus on the way as well. No Dark Templar tech, no High Templar tech on the map as of yet, but we have another 3 gateways going down. Take the total to 8. I think we could well see a nice timing here out of Rain. If we look at the units tab, we can see both players are going for quite the macro game. We have 66 probes to 64 SCVs. Got both refineries down with the armory, so now going for the second level weapons, the first level armor. Producing fairly constantly out of these 3 barracks, and producing some Hellbats out of the reacted factory. Another 2 barracks going down to round out the production facilities. And we have ourselves a nice macro game starting to shape up here. Very little in the way of aggression. At the moment, if we look at the units lost tabs, 100 to 50, so virtually no aggression at all 12 minutes into the game. Almost a bit of a gentleman's agreement going on here. Takes out that observer. Nice pickup to be able to see that. Great. Just I don't even think it was moving at the time, so to be able to see and pick that up's fantastic. So obviously having a bit of a look around, see what else is going on in the field. I don't think he's familiar with the fact that there is in fact 3 Colossus in play at the moment. We have the High Templar now out with Storm researching. As we spoke about in previous games, it's quite natural to go for the Colossus and transition to Storm and bounce between those 2 unit choices. Oh, takes out another observer there, so he can move out without... Oh, hallucinated Phoenix there trying to scout. We have 4 Vikings in play and a big scan on the ramp. You can see the High Templar and also the Colossus moves out for this third base. Now, we have 1 photon cannon here. some SCVs surprisingly also trying to get in on the action. Protoss army is going to fight in this choke point. This is quite bad for the Terran army to be trying to fight here. The third base is likely to go down though, as it's forced the Colossus back and reinforcements streaming in here. The last Viking goes down, his medevacs load up, and we see he does indeed cut into the main. This is what we were talking about. Very difficult to stop this elevated player's Protoss. He has to come all the way back around. Not the fastest units, High Templar and others. Luckily manages to shoot down those medevacs and clean up that. It's a shame that he got picked off here. A nice storm on top of his medevacs as he was loading up really prevented that elevator play from doing the damage that it could have done. So nice thinking from Supernova, but wasn't able to quite execute on it the way he'd like to. Units lost tab telling the story of this game. The efficiency of those Colossus in these engagements and the High Templar just really paving their way. If we look through these High Templar, it's likely that the Storm Droppers were killed, so I won't be able to, or became that Archon, but a few kills on each of the High Templar is the reason why we have such a massive efficiency difference in these two players. 7,500 lost for Supernova and only 4,500 lost for Rain. Take a look at the upgrades tab. We have it as 1-2 for the Protoss, level 1 weapons, level 2 armor, and 2-2 up for the Terran, with Infernal Pre-Igniter for those Hellbats. I'm surprised we are starting to see quite a few Hellbats hitting the field now. Deal with those Zealots. They trade excellently against Zealots, so a little bit of a Zealot warp in here, but one Zealot's not going to do a whole lot on his own. He will get taken out, and aggro's onto the bunker. Obviously, Rain is busy elsewhere. A few Marines busy. Oh no, High Templar feedbacks the medevac, but 2 High Templar getting taken out by those Hellbats, and that was a big pickup for him. Big pickup for Supernova. Blinkstalker's able to kill the medevac, but anytime you can take out High Templar with energy, it's just a great pickup. We have High Templar scattered around the field. These are designed to sneak in and storm now that ghosts are on the field. If you clump your High Templar together and keep your whole army on one hotkey, you'll find time and again you get EMP'd by the ghosts, and it just absolutely wrecks your day as Protoss. You lose your shields, your High Templar lose their energy, and it's game over, Red Rover. I have the supply quite even, 190 for Protoss, 182 for Terran. We have a nice little war going between the Ghosts and the High Templar, feedbacking some of those Ghosts and some of the Ghosts sniping the High Templar. So Ghosts, I believe, do have the better range. I was surprised to see we have all the SCVs down here again. It seems that Supernova is quite fond of pulling his SCVs and using them with his army either to absorb damage or repair his Vikings. We'll see if that plays any sort of a role. Oh, decent storm there. Not the best, but not the worst. These Hellbats are going to soak up quite a lot of Viking, quite a lot of Zealot damage. We have the Blinkstalkers blinking forward to take out these Vikings. Really got a micro and take the Vikings out. There we go. Colossus continuing to pound away at this army. 30 kills between them. Supernova GG is out of the game. That's one of the big risks to committing with those SCVs. Becomes an all-in, and if you aren't able to capitalise on it, then you end up in an unrecoverable position. Rain did have a great Zealot counterattack going on down here, and was able to carry that game. So another great game from Rain and Supernova. Rain playing consistently well now. He seems to have upset Supernova's momentum. We'll see if Supernova can wrest this back in game number 4, or if Rain will be able to close out the series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. By all means, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. That way you'll get notifications when we upload new videos. Doesn't cost anything, absolutely free, and it is the best way to support us in our casting. Thanks guys, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in game number 4.